Hello everyone, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and here we are now back with pack 54 of this DeAgostini Build Your Own Ford Mustang. It's the Shelby GT500 from 1967 and it's in 1/6 scale. Down in the description below the video there is a link, you can go and have a look, and if you want to get one of these you can get one yourself. Boy, she's a beauty. Some people love it, some people hate it, but I'm going to go on building it because I absolutely love it. Okay, so as usual, we'll look in the magazine first. So here we go. We're starting off with American motorhomes. They always have at least 2 subjects in each of the magazines that we can look at. So motorhomes first appeared in the US when they were enabled people to travel in comfort across the vast continent of North America. And boy oh boy did they know how to do it. If you've seen some of those things over there, they're absolutely unbelievable. For example, here we go. 1985 Heritage 2000 is relatively compact compared to some of today's large American motorhomes. I mean, look at it. It's bloody huge. Which can be over 12 meters long, 40 feet, with slide out rooms that can take their overall width when parked to more than 14 feet. I mean, come on, do you really need that? I mean, I think it's a look at what I've got. It's a people going off to show off, and I think to a certain extent we get it in this country as well. I know a friend of mine, Steve, is well into his motorhomes and he self-builds and everything and does a beautiful job of them. And I know they're very much into sort of, you know, comparing each other's work. But again, they're self-building, they're making it themselves. It's built, not bought. And, you know, just going out and buying something like that, to me, just proves you've got lots of money and somewhere to keep it. I mean, look at it inside. You know, that's nicer than your average flat. The opulence of some motorhomes can be truly stunning. Wealthy buyers insist on leather armchairs and couches, the most modern kitchen appliances, an elegant bathroom, and all the other desirable things you would expect in a luxury apartment. Unbelievable. And then here's the other option, of course, which a lot of people do. You get your old Airstream. They call it a trailer. It's a caravan. Yeah, you see these things around, the old classic ones, and they're absolutely beautiful. And of course, you stick that on a pickup truck. The beauty of this is over, you know, when you've got something like this, it's great. Say you go and visit, I don't know, Cheddar Gorge in your motorhome, even if it's only a transit or something. If you want to go and tour around, you've got to take the transit with you. Whereas with this, if you've got a caravan being towed behind a car, in this case, in this country, it'd be like a little Freelander or something like that, then you can take the car and leave the caravan where it is, which also means you can leave all your cutlery out and all your bottles and this, that and the other that you've got set up, whereas with a motorhome you have to put everything away every time you want to drive. That's just my opinion anyway. There will be people who love these, there will be people who love these. I know my friend Steve wouldn't go anywhere near a caravan, but there are people that wouldn't go near a motorhome. So you also see the motorhomes, of course, with the tiny little Fiat 500 or something on the back, so they can go touring when they go away. But yeah, some nice little bits and pieces there for you to read about when you get your magazine. Launched in 1973, the GMC motorhome was specifically developed for use as a recreational vehicle. It was fitted with a powerful V8 engine with 6.6 capacity of 6.6 or 7.5 litres. I remember seeing these. Very airy, isn't it? Very modern, you know, especially in 1973. So here's the parts we're getting in 54. So we've got the suspension parts there, all looking nice. We've got some tapping to do by the look of it. And here we're looking at Dan Gurney. Now Dan Gurney, what a man this is. When you see racing cars, like on the Porsche 917 I'm also building, you'll see little flaps on the top of the spoiler, the little adjustable flaps. And they're called Gurney flaps, and it was him that came up with them. And yeah, this is a hell of a, I read this just now, this paragraph. In motor racing history, only 3 drivers have been able to win in scoring races of the 2 foremost world competitions, Formula 1 and sports prototypes, and also the 2 most important US disciplines, Indy, Formula or Kart, and NASCAR. Dan Gurney was the first. He was followed by Mario Andretti and Colombian Jan Pablo Montoya. So yeah, he is a hell of a driver. Also amazes me, I've just had new tyres fitted to my Volkswagen Passat, and they were 235 45 17s. Look at those there. They're like, what are they? 155 13s. Look like cross plies for a start. I mean, God, wow. So here we are going over the page. 10 times competing at Le Mans. Dan Gurney on the left. on the podium of the 1967 24 Hours of Le Mans alongside his compatriot AJ Foyt. Names we all know well. There's some Moet Chandon there. There he is, wearing his helmet and driving goggles. He would later be the first to wear a full face helmet in Formula 1. I didn't know that. And here he is again. Here he is with Carroll Shelby. We all love a Shelby, don't we? And Gurney won the 1967 24 Hours of Le Mans, the long version of the Ford GT40, the Mark IV. It was a great farewell, as with the last to be completed in the legendary race. He lived all the way until January the 14th, 2018, aged 86. He died as a result of respiratory problems caused by pneumonia. Bless him. So there we are. What a guy. That's well worth a read, that one. So, what have we got in here? Pack 54. Here we go. It's a fairly small one, but there's lots in there. Let's grab my knife. Here I am, not prepared as usual. So let's grab my knife. Let's cut the top of that off. That can go in the recycling. And then we can pour this out. We'll get the light on now because we're not looking at the magazine anymore. We'll also get those pins out. Come on. Don't stick in there. Right. So we have two wishbones. They're metal. So we've got a left and a right. That's good. We've got these two brackets here. We've got two pins in there. In fact, we'll get all this out. So we've got two pins. Get rid of those. We have DSO2 screws. Okay, so we can get those out. And these are all metal, so we're going to be doing some tapping. And then, or thread cutting if you like. And then we have the DS12 screws. So we have 3 of those, so we'll be using 2. And we have 5 of the DSO2, so we'll be using 4 of those. We always get one left over. Right, so we're saying here, place the left upper suspension arm, 54, on the left upper suspension arm bracket, 54C. Okay, so that is going to go, it's not very clear because it's all black, and I can see the reflection of the light. Okay, so this upper arm is going to go onto this bracket here. It's going to go that way up. Notice if we've got the flat sticking out. And then we're going to take this pin, which is 54E, take the smooth side. You can see on the pin we've got a knurled end and we've got a smooth end. So we're going to put that on there. And we're going to slide, oops, come here pin. We're going to slide that pin into there. Go through, go on, go in. So that's going to go in like that. And then we're going to grab a pair of pliers. What we can do here is just pull that pin in somehow. Perhaps better going from the back. Squeeze that pin into there like that, and now that's locked in. There we are. So that's all good. Okay. Now, if the knurled bit is just slightly longer than the actual width of the metal part, so you will find that your wishbone will get a bit sticky if it's anywhere near. If I push it that way, look, it's staying there. So don't worry about that. The weight of the car, that's not going to make any difference, and we're not going to be playing with it, are we? Or maybe we will. Okay, so over the page, we're basically going to be repeating the same again. So we've got the left side there we go. So now we're going to be doing the right. So again, we're going to pick it up, we're going to make sure we've got the right facing up. This bracket here is it that way, and then we're just going to slide the pin in just like so. It doesn't really matter which way it goes, just slide it through, wait for it to come out the other side. There we go, it's coming out of there. So what we can do now is just get in there with the pliers and push it in. Make sure it's going into the other side okay. I'm going to turn it over because I can get a bigger purchase on here, and then just push that pin in. God blimey, he's a tight one, this one. I don't think he's going anywhere, but we'll just give it a... Let's see if I can... There we go, he's gone in now. There we are. Well, that was a tight one, that one. Okay, so there we are. So that's that in. So now we can see we've got our left and right arms as said in the instructions. Okay. Now then, retrieve the chassis, which is over here. So I've got my screws here. Okay, so I'm going to put those over there. I'm going to move the pliers over here because I don't think I need them. So retrieve the chassis, and from the top hold the right arm and bracket assembly by the right hand front wheel so you can identify where the arm and bracket will be attached to the wheel and chassis respectively as shown in the main picture. Place the bracket on the chassis and fit the tip of the arm to the top of the stub axle. Have I got these connected up right? Yeah, I got right and right, as shown in the circular picture. So basically we're going to be putting this over the top of the stub axle and then putting a screw down through. Sorry guys, I had a delivery then. So I'm reading this now because in a minute the car's going to be in the way. And then what we're going to do is fasten it with 2 DSO2 screws there. And then we're going to repeat on the left hand side. So I'm going to fold this magazine back on itself. Okay, put the magazine up here out of the way. And then, as if by magic, there it comes. Here's the great big chassis of the car. So we're going to work on the right side first because it's right in front of the camera. So first of all, I've got these 2 holes in the chassis here. These 2 are where the wishbone's going to go. This is the right side, and you can see that that is going to just drop down over there, and then that is going to go into there like that, and that's going to support it. So we've yet to get any struts and springs on here. They're obviously going to go in through there. So I'm going to basically cut these threads. You don't have to, but I like to cut threads, as you all know. So I've got 4 holes here to tap, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to get these done, then I'll be back. Okay, so we're going to take the right hand upper arm. They look pretty symmetrical to me, but there may be a slight difference, I'm guessing, because they numbered them, or lettered them. So that's going to go on there, and then it's telling us to take these 2. So we've got to basically lift the Okay, what I'm going to do here is grab, I've got my cardboard block that I use as a paint stand. So I'm going to sit the chassis on there so that it's hanging rather than, if I put it sideways it might be a bit better. So yeah, it just supports the wheel if I put it sideways. So we're going to take 1 DSO2 screw and we're going to put one in here. Just start it, I'm not going to tighten it. As I say, you don't need to tap these threads, but I like to. You can if you want, you don't have to if you don't want to. That one doesn't want, it's like it's not lined up or something, or is the screw too big? That sometimes happens. Let's try another screw. I had that on my pocket Lamborghini, if you remember. One of the first screws I picked up was too big. There we go, that one's gone straight in. That's obviously a problem with that screw, I think. So we'll tighten that one down. We'll tighten that one down, and then we're going to fit a DS12 screw into the top of here. This is already tapped, I tapped this previously. So I'm not convinced about this. Once again, whenever we use these DF12, I don't know why DeAgostini used them, because they could have used the screw much longer. They didn't have to use this silly little screw. And the other problem is, because of the angle everything's on, I think if you try and tighten the screw up, it's going to bind. It's actually going to bind on the suspension arm, rather than. I don't think you can tighten it up. We'll see. We'll see what happens going forward. If I take this block away and have the you can see it's gone absolutely solid. Why do we have absolutely no movement in our suspension whatsoever? very strange. I'm going to look into this. Okay guys, so you can see what's happening here. I'll show you on this side. If I put this wishbone on top of here, you can see we don't have much movement up and down. Whereas on the bottom you've got all this movement up and down. So basically I think we're going to be very, very restricted in our movement, because I can put that up in there, and then because of the way it's held in on both bosses, top and bottom, I can't do anything about it. So we're just going to have to go with it, I'm afraid. And I'm going to put this screw in, and I'm going to tighten it up. I can still use the steering, so that's all that matters. So that screw can stay tight. Okay, so what I'm going to do on this side is put this screw in and tighten it up first. I've got it upside down. Empty, put the right way up. So I'm going to put this screw in on the screwdriver properly first. There we go, so that's in there nice and tight, and you can see that arm is all floppy. As soon as I bend this bracket over to go into there, this side should be a lot easier. I'm just going to see if this screw is actually dodgy, see if it goes in. No, it's absolutely fine. I must have just been misaligned the last time. Okay, and then that one can go in there. Tighten that one down. Tighten that one down, and that is it. That is our front suspension set up. The wheels are still free to steer, so that's good. I really don't know why they use these silly little screws with this tiny no thread on. They could have used something at least, you know, 4mm long. So there we go. There's our car ready to go. By the way, I talked about this steering being like, you know, 77,000 turns to 1. Apparently it has an electric motor, so we can actually make the wheels steer on the model remotely when it's done. So there we go. So we've got 2 spare screws, and that will be part 54 complete. You can see it stood there then. So yeah, if I were you, what they tell you to do, and then they tell you to put that DS12 screw in last. I would be seriously tempted to put the DS12 screw in first. You saw how much easier that was. And then we can come along and just give it a nip just to make sure it's tight. Same on this side. Make sure that arm has gone down as far as it's going to go. I'm just going to give it a, yep, that's okay. So there we are. So that's our Mustang chassis waiting for a body. We've got lots and lots of ground clearance under there. I can get my whole hand under. So I think next is going to be parts 55 and 56 together, because I think we're going to be looking at the exhaust. So I'll see you back in a few days or whenever for that one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Don't worry, part works aren't taking over the channel. It's just that as these come, I've just had 5 come in the post today. So as these turn up, I get them done, and then we move on with the plastic modelling. Alright, I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.